Hey, 49ers faithful. Let's dive straight into the whirlwind that has been this season for our San Francisco 49ers. The team made some interesting moves earlier in the season, including acquiring Keion White and adding Cleveland Ferrell, two changes that immediately had fans buzzing with excitement. It felt like the defense was finally positioning itself for some serious impact. But then, just when momentum seemed possible, disaster struck. Mel Williams suffered a season-ending injury, and, combined with Nick Bosa, who was already sidelined, the Niners suddenly found themselves without their two starting defensive ends. This turn of events has led to one of the least effective pass rushing units in the league, making it painfully clear that the team's defensive front is struggling to find any rhythm this year. The impact was glaring during the recent clash against the Cardinals at State Farm Stadium. Jacoby Brissett, the opposing quarterback, dropped back an astonishing 57 times. Out of all those dropbacks, San Francisco managed to pressure him on just 13 occasions and, remarkably, recorded 0 sacks. That marked the third game this season where the Niners failed to secure a single sack, a statistic that simply cannot sustain a winning formula in the NFL. Through 11 games, the team's pass rush has produced only 12 sacks, putting them on pace for a historically low total of 18.5 by the end of the season, which will be the lowest since sacks officially became an NFL statistic. What makes this even more striking is that Brysoff leads the team with 4 sacks, while Nick Bosa, who has been absent since Week 3, is technically second in the rankings despite not recording a sack since Week 2. These numbers illustrate the gravity of the problem. The Niners sit at 32nd in the league for total sacks, dead last, with 107 total pressures, ranking 26th, and 79 hurries, placing them 19th. Their pressure rate is 26.23%, which is also last in the league, and highlights just how much work the defense has ahead if they want to compete with elite teams. Yet, the upcoming game offers a glimmer of hope, because the Carolina Panthers come into Levi Stadium with a defensive pass rush that is arguably even less effective than the Niners. The statistics back this up. The Panthers have 16 sacks as a team, ranking 28th in the league. They have only 142 pressures, which is 30th, and 90 total hurries, 25th overall. The comparison of pressure rates is staggering. The Niners sit at 26.23%, and the Panthers, at 38.17%, are just ahead, illustrating that neither team poses a significant threat to opposing quarterbacks. On the offensive side, the Panthers have struggled immensely. Bryce Young, who showed flashes of promise last season, has seen a regression this year. Limited mobility and an underwhelming arm strength have made his job incredibly difficult. Their offense averages only 18.8 points per game, ranking 28th in the NFL. In terms of yards per game, they sit 22nd, and their efficiency on yard per play is 26th. Third down conversions rank 24th, and red zone performance is 20th, all metrics indicating a unit that has yet to find consistency. Meanwhile, their defense, despite being unable to generate much pressure, has managed to remain competitive by buckling down in key situations, particularly in the red zone, which is why the Panthers are still able to put up a fight in close games. Bryce Young's completion percentage is under 63%. He has thrown for less than 2,000 yards, and his quarterback rating sits at 86. These offensive struggles, paired with a pass rush that fails to make significant impact, create an opportunity for the Niners to capitalize. If San Francisco can find its rhythm and avoid the mistakes that have plagued them this season, moving to an 8-4 record is entirely within reach, greatly improving playoff positioning and keeping the momentum alive as the season progresses. Turning to individual performances, much of the attention this year has focused on M. Jones, who stepped in admirably during Brock Purdy's injury absences. His ability to lead the team and secure victories in Purdy's absence has not only kept the Niners competitive, but has also elevated his value across the league. Jones went 5-3 in the games he started, demonstrating poise and an ability to execute within Kyle Shanahan's system. With his contract situation making him affordable next season, he becomes a compelling trade asset, though the question remains whether the Niners would even consider parting with him. His performance shows he can thrive in the right offensive system, and with the right supporting cast, he has the potential to make explosive plays downfield. Injuries to key receivers have limited his options, but even in these conditions, Jones has proven capable, completing nearly 70% of his passes and amassing more than 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions in 8 starts. His quarterback rating, hovering just below 100, highlights the impact of elite coaching combined with his adaptability. Considering his track record stepping in for Purdy, Jones represents both a short-term solution and a long-term strategic asset for San Francisco. The trade scenario for M. Jones is becoming one of the most intriguing stories as the league looks ahead to the 2026 offseason. A thin quarterback draft class could drive up demand, and teams seeking a reliable starter will naturally turn their attention to Jones. While some may argue for a potential first or second-round pick in return, the Niners must weigh whether the immediate gain in draft capital outweighs having a proven and affordable quarterback under their roof. There is also the potential developmental angle with Curtis Rohr, a 7th-round pick who could step into a backup role and grow under Shanahan's guidance. This combination of Jones' proven skill and the developmental prospects of other quarterbacks in the roster creates a complex yet exciting strategic puzzle for the front office. His success illustrates how crucial coaching, system fit, and opportunity can be in elevating a player's performance and highlights the broader narrative of how the Niners are balancing immediate competitiveness with long-term planning. The reality of this season has been a roller coaster. Injuries have exposed weaknesses, particularly along the defensive front, and the pass rush has failed to deliver. Yet, the Niners' offense, under the guidance of Shanahan and with contributions from M. Jones, has managed to keep the team in contention. The matchup against the Panthers presents a rare opportunity to exploit weaknesses on both sides of the ball, and if San Francisco can execute effectively, the path to victory is clear. Every play, every defensive adjustment, and every decision in the pocket will matter more than ever, especially considering how thin the margin for error has become. The focus now shifts to execution, and the Niners faithful can take some solace knowing that despite the setbacks, the team remains capable of climbing back into playoff contention. Looking deeper into the San Francisco 49ers situation, it becomes clear that the challenges this team has faced go beyond just injuries. The defensive line, once considered a strength, has been forced into a rebuilding mode on the fly. With Nick Bosa and Mel Williams out for the season, the remaining players have had to step up, often facing superior offensive lines and quarterbacks with far more time to operate than they should. The numbers tell a story of frustration. Pressure rates barely above 26%, total pressures lagging far behind most teams, and the inability to generate sacks has allowed opposing quarterbacks to dictate the pace of the game. This is particularly evident in matchups where the Niners are expected to dominate defensively, yet the lack of consistent pass rush has turned even seemingly manageable games into nail-biters. Each drawback by an opposing quarterback exposes the gap in San Francisco's ability to collapse the pocket, forcing other defensive units to overcompensate and often leaving vulnerabilities in coverage. The coaching staff has worked tirelessly to adjust schemes and rotate players, but there is only so much strategy can do when injuries strip the roster of its foundational talent. Meanwhile, the offensive side of the ball has become both a lifeline and a focal point for the team's continued success. Brock Purdy's injuries over recent seasons have highlighted the necessity of having a reliable backup, and M. Jones has proven he fits that role perfectly. His performances have not only stabilized the offense, but have demonstrated that the system can produce results even under less than ideal circumstances. Completing nearly 70% of his passes while accumulating over 2,000 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and maintaining a quarterback rating near 100, Jones has earned league-wide attention. What makes his contribution even more impressive is the lack of a fully healthy receiving core. With Kendrick Bourne acting as the primary target and other key receivers sidelined or inconsistent, Jones has had to make every throw count. The team's success in these games underscores his ability to manage pressure, read defenses, and make adjustments on the fly. a skill set that becomes increasingly valuable as the season progresses and the margin for error narrows. The upcoming matchups carry enormous significance. Facing a Carolina Panthers team with its own set of challenges presents a rare opportunity to dominate without relying solely on defensive heroics. Their struggling offense, highlighted by Bryce Young's limitations in mobility and arm strength, and their lack of a formidable pass rush, creates a scenario in which the Niners' strengths, primarily the offensive line and quarterback decision-making, can be leveraged to full effect. Points will be crucial, but the ability to control possession, manage the clock, and force the Panthers into mistakes could very well dictate the outcome. While the defensive line's limitations remain a concern, the matchup favors San Francisco more than most recent games, providing an opening for the team to reinforce its playoff aspirations. Each play call, each adjustment by Kyle Shanahan, and each snap taken by the quarterbacks will play a pivotal role in defining the trajectory of the season. At the same time, speculation surrounding Jones' future adds another layer of intrigue to the Niners' narrative. With his contract situation making him affordable and his on-field production showcasing both skill and resilience, he has become a coveted asset for other teams seeking quarterback stability. Yet, the decision to trade him is far from straightforward. On one hand, the potential draft capital could aid the team in reinforcing other areas of need, especially with the ongoing defensive struggles. On the other hand, Jones' ability to step in and maintain the team's competitiveness makes him invaluable, especially given Brock Purdy's history of injuries. The trade calculus is complex. Weigh the immediate value of draft picks against the guaranteed reliability of a quarterback who knows the system and can produce under pressure. It is a balancing act that the front office must navigate carefully, one that could have implications not just for the upcoming season, but for the Niners' long-term competitiveness. In addition to these strategic considerations, the development of younger players like Curtis Rohr becomes critical. Shanahan's ability to develop quarterbacks has been a hallmark of his coaching career, and integrating new talent into the roster while maintaining competitiveness requires both foresight and patience. Rohr, as a seventh-round pick, may not yet have the experience to carry the team, but the developmental potential is significant. If Jones remains with the team, he can serve as both a mentor and a reliable option, providing a bridge until the younger quarterback gains confidence and experience. This dynamic, when executed effectively, could allow the Niners to simultaneously maintain a strong playoff position while preparing for future seasons without a significant drop in performance. The defensive front, though currently struggling, is not without hope. Adjustments, rotations, and strategic blitz packages can help mask the absence of star players, and the coaching staff continues to search for ways to generate pressure. However, sustaining effectiveness over the course of the season will require health, depth, and consistency, elements that have been elusive so far. The pressure to perform, particularly in critical games, highlights the importance of every defensive snap and the need for younger players to rise to the occasion. Each game presents a learning opportunity, but the clock is ticking and the Niners cannot afford to rely on offensive production alone. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL rumor mill, Budabaker, the hard-hitting safety who has long been the backbone of Arizona's defense, is reportedly making his way to the San Francisco 49ers. Sources close to team circles suggest that Baker is set to become the centerpiece of San Francisco's secondary, taking on a leadership role in the defensive backfield that could redefine the 49ers' approach to opposing offenses. The whispers around the league hint at a mutual excitement. Baker, known for his aggressive tackling and instinctive reads, seems eager to embrace a new challenge, while the 49ers are reportedly thrilled to secure a player whose reputation for on-field intelligence and physicality precedes him. The buzz is that Baker's presence could instantly elevate a defensive unit that has flirted with inconsistency in the past, providing not just skill, but a vocal leader capable of marshaling the backfield with authority. Inside sources describe the atmosphere in San Francisco as electric. Coaches are allegedly envisioning Baker as a game changer, someone who can mentor younger defensive backs while still wreaking havoc on opposing quarterbacks and receivers. Rumors suggest that his arrival could prompt a shuffle in the secondary, with other players potentially adjusting roles to maximize the impact of a player of Baker's caliber. Of course, as with all high-profile movements in the NFL, speculation runs wild. Fans are abuzz on social media, debating how Baker will mesh with the 49ers' existing scheme and whether his style of play will adapt to the West Coast high-octane passing offenses. Conversations in sports circles hint at secretive meetings, late-night strategy sessions, and an undercurrent of excitement that suggests San Francisco might be quietly building a defensive renaissance. While official confirmations remain pending, the chatter is enough to have pundits imagining what the 49ers' secondary could look like with Budabaker orchestrating the chaos. One thing is clear. Wherever he lands, Baker brings intensity, leadership, and a knack for turning defensive plays into headline moments. And if the rumors are true, the 49ers' backfield is about to become one of the most feared in the league. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.